Disney just can't get out of its own way. It keeps having problem after problem after problem. And I'm not surprised by any of it because they had some bad management. They kind of didn't know which way to turn. I was going to see if I could find you this picture. Here we go. Of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So, Snow White's coming out as a big remake. There's been some problems lately because the girl who's playing Snow White, well, she just came out with another doozy, and I'm going to play it for you. But before we get to that, did you see this one? So Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, except it's, I guess, Snow White and the 6 tall people and 1 dwarf, which is something that, well, the dwarfism community is not entirely happy about. It's amazing because the company actually did an entire study. They actually paid a lot of money to have this giant study so that they could figure out, because they have to figure this stuff out, right? How not to offend the smaller stature community of people. So their answer somehow was to just get rid of them. Like, we're just going to forget about them. It's no longer Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It's Snow White and I don't know. It's woke Snow White or woke White and the 6 tall people. And 1 dwarf. Anyway, Rachel Zegler is the actress who is playing Snow White. And she's a young girl. I actually need to go and watch West Side Story myself. I want to do that because this was her claim to fame. She's a young girl. They picked her out of some New Jersey high school. She's apparently a great singer. I'll watch it and report back tomorrow. I am, by training, a classically trained singer, so I might have a thought or two on that. Anyway, Bernstein, incredible music. Hard to screw it up, but I'll see. Anyway, she's half Colombian, half Polish, and she really identifies with the whole Colombian thing because, again, that's the smart thing to do if you're in Hollywood these days, right? You don't want to be all Polish. You want to really work that Colombian angle. Anyway, Rachel Zegler was caught on the red carpet saying some rather interesting things about Snow White. I'll play them for you here.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Hollywood, baby. Okay, so Snow White, and apparently she doesn't like the story. It's just weird. Well, the son of the original director of Snow White, he wasn't too psyched about that. He had some rather choice things to say. He's 91 years old now, and he said, this is just total woke insanity, and I don't really appreciate it, and it's not working for me. Anyway, she had some other things to say. Let me see if I can bring some of this up for you right now, because it didn't stop there. She threw a whole lot of shade, shall we say, at poor Snow White, going on to say the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. You heard her go through all that. Then she went on to say not only do they have a different approach, but, quote, it's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. Really? It's really, really wonderful that it's not about a love story. Because she goes on and talks about how, you got to value your leadership skills and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I'm sorry. I'm about as pro-woman as you're going to find. I mean that. I really mean that. And I'm pro-woman in that I believe a woman should be able to do whatever she wants. And that includes doing nothing. It includes staying home with the kids. That includes being president. That includes having your own company. You do you, and I'll do me. And you know what? I'm tired of the Rachel, whatever, 18-year-olds, maybe she's 22 now, trying to put some kind of lens over what women should be. What's wrong with falling in love? What's wrong with meeting Prince Charming? If you don't meet Prince, I'm going to get all teary-eyed on you, but if you don't meet the right guy, what is all this about? And the same for the guy. You don't meet the right girl. Like, what is this life about if it's not about sharing it with another person? And hopefully more people, right? That's the whole point. You have a family. That means more than anything. But, if you don't fall in love, if you don't value love, because I guess everything else is way more important, if you don't value love, then you don't have love. You don't have love. You don't have a family. You don't have kids, and you're alone in this world. And that, ladies and gentlemen, seems to be what they prize. Those on the left that are trying to push a woke agenda that's not family-based, that doesn't value women for all their contributions, that thinks that you need to be alone in this world. Don't forget, Black Lives Matter. It said it right there on their website. Part of their mandate was the destruction of the nuclear family. Because you see, the nuclear family is an awfully threatening thing. The nuclear family can stand up to government. The nuclear family doesn't have to have their hand out waiting for Uncle Sam to give them a pittance to live off of. The nuclear family can help each other and other nuclear families in the spirit of community and family. You think about, families that come here, first generations, and how I was watching My Big Fat Greek Wedding the other night. Again, I love that movie. And I love the spirit of it and how the family is helping everyone, right? And everybody's got a business and everybody's looking out for one another and they're all in each other's business, but that's a good thing. Because the nuclear family is the importance, is the center of everything. But if we're going to remake the entire narrative there, I guess the idea is we have to destroy that nuclear family. We have to teach women love doesn't matter, not important. Your career, your this, your that, your leadership, that's what matters. Because one day you're going to be president of the United States. Well, why not tell women you can do whatever you want? Okay, full disclosure, I admit it, I saw Barbie. I finally went, but my kids dragged me to see this. I was putting it off because, I don't have 2 hours to sit in the movie theater, period. I don't even like movie theaters. I don't like the smell of popcorn and like being in a dark place with all these people around me. I was like, we'll wait till it comes out on video. And so I was really anticipating the worst. And there are some cringe moments, but there's this one scene, I don't know how they let it slip by, but at the end, one of the women says, you know what, why don't we have ordinary Barbie? Like, why does a woman have to be anything? Why can't she just be what she is? Why do we have to have all these stereotypes? If she wants to be beautiful and wear beautiful clothing, go for it. If she wants to not be beautiful, go for it. If she wants to be a CEO or a president or not, and what Rachel Zegler and this whole Snow White movement thing is trying to do is to stamp out the value that all of us as individuals, remember that, bring. Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.